All right. So today we've got Kris Cooper. He is the broker for Homology. He's also the owner of Yojo Outlet, which is an eBay store, correct?
Hmm.
So an eBay store for like parts for old toys and just basically anything retro that you can think of,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
he's my real estate broker, to be more concise. And today we're just going to dive in. We've got a deck of cards. We're going to shoot through some interesting questions that we have tied to the cards, and just have some general conversation. So, yeah, how you been?
I've been awesome.
Yeah, life's going
Yeah,
well.
life's going great.
Good, yeah,
Summer was great. Here we are, I guess, coming up on the end of the summer as far as the calendar is concerned, but the weather's been somewhat mild.
yeah,
I love the summer.
yeah. Do you?
It's
I
my
hate the
favorite
summer.
time of year.
I hate the
The
summer.
hotter, the better.
I'm sweating in here. It's like 70 degrees.
I like it steamy.
Yeah,
I do. And now, and that's a crazy thing to think of because if you'd have known me 10 years ago, you'd be like, dude, where have you been? Because I hated it hot.
yeah. I hibernate during the summer
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I mean,
Do you think that? So you cycle just so you cycle 30 miles a day.
yeah.
Rain, shine,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Well, unless it's frozen.
Yeah.
The frozen tundra keeps me out.
Okay.
But yes.
So, do you think that your love for the steamy stuff has because of the cycling?
I think it's a direct result.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, like exposure therapy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In your head, I think you have ideal conditions.
Yeah.
You'd like to say that these are ideal conditions in your mind. And then when it gets to 35 degrees outside or colder, and you're out there cycling in this, and there's no one on the trail, and you're trying to stay warm, and you can't, and your eyes start watering, and you start to lose feeling in your extremities.
Yeah.
You suddenly say, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the spectrum, let's say it's 95 with as much humidity as you can put in the atmosphere for our environment.
Okay. Which is often.
And you're crushing it. And you get halfway through and you just stop or take a break for a few seconds to catch your breath. And as soon as you stop, you just start wringing wet.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better.
Really?
Nothing feels better than to know that whatever was stuck inside of you for the last 2 days since you've been taking a break has now just been extracted through sweat. And you go faster when the air is a little thinner, and the air tends to get thinner when it's hotter. I've noticed that when it's cold, the air seems to be very thick and difficult to pedal through.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I think my love for the hot weather has definitely come from cycling.
Okay. Now you mentioned your speed is faster when it's hotter.
Yeah.
Are you like a speed enthusiast on it? Are you trying to get as fast as possible?
Always trying to beat my most recent speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a defined 30 miles, right? It's like this, I'm going to go 30 miles. It's not like an endurance thing where you're trying to go to 40 miles, 50 miles.
I've done a few of those. Those really kick you.
Yeah.
But it's literally from Newtown to downtown Loveland and back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 28.7 miles.
That's awesome.
Up there and back.
Yeah. And that's to your shop, right?
That's down to the shop in Newtown. Yeah. Okay. Where I get on the trail at.
Okay. So here's so you leave a bike at your shop.
Bike stays at the shop.
Bike stays at the shop, right? I was just saying, I was like, you're not carrying it back and forth in the Batmobile you drive.
No. It's not.
I don't think I've seen a bike rack on that.
No. Well, I didn't when we rented that space for that business to grow. It wasn't. I was taking the bike to the trail when I rode it down there.
Yeah.
I have another vehicle that it would fit in.
Okay.
And I'd throw it in the back of that thing and ride it down there, but I was only doing that once a week.
Okay.
And then I was cycling in my neighborhood, but that was 6 years ago. Things have changed.
It's grown. It's become a
The Newtown shop is literally a safe block away from the park where I get on. You can go north to Loveland, or you can go west to Lunken Airport, cycle around the airport.
Is that the park where all the soccer fields and stuff
exactly.
are?
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, that's called Clear Creek.
Clear Creek. Okay. I think we went there for a little bit when my stepson was doing soccer. So the I-9 Sports was out there. So that's become like an avid daily part. What made you decide to start cycling instead of hiking or running?
I tried running.
Yeah.
My wife's a runner, and she's a marathon runner at the time, and she wanted me to try it, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. This was 9-10 years ago. and my back just didn't agree with it. My lower back would get tight, although I would still try. And I guess it was I firmly believe if you're going to be really good at anything, you have to really like doing it.
Yeah.
Because the challenge from something, your feeling of love will push you through that challenge.
Right.
And so having the physical challenges of running, I didn't like it. I didn't love it. So as soon as things got difficult, I quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily.
I know the feeling.
I didn't necessarily. Let me elaborate a little. I quit doing that, but I kept searching for the right thing.
Right.
You know, in life and in business, you're never a quitter. You've never failed until you've completely given up.
So you quit, right?
And I didn't give up. I wanted to find another source to exercise and to stay fit. And we were in the course of buying the new home, and I remember firmly jumping on, I think it was a 10-speed, and I couldn't go a mile. And I tried it. I'm like, I'm going to try this bike, and I've got to do something. I felt so. You look at images of yourself, and over time, you're like, okay, that is not the person I want to be. I don't want to be like that. What do I want to be like instead? So I found a vision of what I wanted to be instead, and so that's what I went after.
Yeah.
And it happened to be every cyclist I looked at seemed to be thin, fit, athletic. And I said, if cycling keeps you in that type of fitness, then I'm going to discover what it takes to be like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't go a mile the very first time I was on one, and turned around and went back home. I'm like, this is going to be a long journey. That was late fall 2017.
Okay.
By April, and I cycled all through the winter. Of 17.
That's hard out here. I struggle to hike too much in the wintertime. It can be hard. Though I will say the spring and the fall here, the ground gets real mushy. I think you're using pavement for the most part.
Yeah. On the road.
So I do a lot of off-road stuff. So if I'm doing on a bike, it's a mountain bike. If I'm hiking or running, I typically do trails. Yeah. And the one thing that is nice about January and February is the cold weather makes the ground very firm.
Yeah, and that's another thing about cycling that I have recently discovered is why 60 degrees in October is so much different than 60 degrees in early April or late March.
Yeah.
And that is because the ground temperature is so cold in March that even though the air temperature is 60, it still feels like 35 when you're going. And in October, as you're coming out of the summer months, the air temperature is still 60, but the ground temperature is 90. Yeah. And so it just, you can feel the radiant heat as you're going. So that really is the difference. Yeah.
For me, I did try running. I think I told you that. I may have told you this, but so I was going to do the half marathon at the Pig, and I ended up damaging my knee, like a torn meniscus kind of thing. And I got a bike. Somebody gifted me a bike last summer, and I took it out to the trail. I thought it was a much longer trail. It's down, it's by Belterra. Okay. There's like a little place you park and you go, but it's only like 2 miles. And like, it's just these little baby hills. I was dead. By the time I finished it, I came back and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not something if I'm going to do it, I got to keep doing it. But I don't have the right bike for it. I think my bike is made for, it's a commuter style bike.
Like
so
a cruiser?
Yeah, it's a specialized Globe or something like that. So it's a nice one, but it's made for like if somebody's going to ride their bike to work in the city kind of thing. So it didn't do great on the hills and stuff, and it feels a little bit more relaxed than it is like getting on it. So I'm used to mountain bikes, but when I tried mountain biking when I moved here, the first place I went to was Devou Park and gave up the first day. It was like this. I was hiking my bike up the mountain instead of riding it. So
that's brutal.
It was terrible. It was a terrible experience. It was very good though. I was glad Montgomery Montgomery Cycle did that experience down there because you could like rent a bike and go up into the mountains.
That's a brutal place to try to start. But after the first, when you really pay attention, and I had a long way to go when I started. I think looking for instant impact or instant results is a difficult thing when you start anything, only do it for a short amount of time. But after about 4 months, once I got into February or so, I started to notice a difference. I was running at a calorie deficit So you start to peel off the layers.
Yeah.
And by April, I looked like a different person.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing anything intense. I mean, I was just working.
Yeah.
Going maybe 8 or 9 miles. I've tracked it all in an app, so I go all the way back to early 18 when this thing started, and I can track every mile.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. And then I have an Instagram page, and it's basically just for me, but other people can get inspiration for it, I guess. But I take a selfie of myself after every session.
Okay.
And I do that to keep myself accountable.
Yeah.
That I went. And then you can go back through the years and you can see how I've progressed.
How it's changed.
Yeah, and I think documenting progress is important in any journey that you might go on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I did it for cycling.
Yeah.
Still do it today.
Yeah. Yeah, I've incorporated a 30-minute walk at the very minimum every day now. So I'm outside for 30 days, rain or shine, even snow, right? So one thing that's great about Cincinnati is the local park system's phenomenal. So I've been able to get out and get it. Most of the time it's out on a trail, Woodland Mound or something like that. This morning was Sycamore Township Park. Sycamore Park. I don't think it's Sycamore Township. It's in Batavia. Over by Dean&Brew.
Yeah, they got a trail walks around that thing.
Yeah, it's good. I did a lap around it, and then I hit the trails down to the back of the trail I wanted to finish at was closed. So but I got 30 minutes in and came back. So it's a good experience. It's nice. It helps my ADHD a lot in the morning to get out, get physical therapy in with the walking, and I lift first thing too. So I did half my lifts before I went out for my walk, drop the kid off for school, go for the walk, come back home, lift, and then get my day started. So, so outside of cycling, another big hobby and love of yours is like the retro toy stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I want to hear about how Yojo got started and where that idea came from and that passion for the retro toys and stuff.
Easy story, really, and I think any business can be birthed this way. I had a vintage toy collection from my childhood, and I guess it was 2009, right around in there. I discovered it, my parents' attic, pulled it out, started going through it, and just going through it, you recognize there's things that you're missing. I was an adult at the time, obviously, and it's like you're going through it and you want to try to complete things. Yeah. And I couldn't find the parts I needed to complete what I had as a kid. So I started scavenging. And how do I complete this? How do I find these parts? And I couldn't find them anywhere by themselves. It was a very difficult task. And the bell went off in my head. It's like, look, if you're having a hard time finding something, there are probably other people that have a hard time doing it too. Yeah. Go through the process of solving this for yourself, see what that process looks like, and then can you apply that process in the big picture? Can you scale that? And with one toy line, you can't do it. Yeah. But we now we have about 800 different toy lines going back to the 70s. Wow. That we applied this theory to. And of course, one by one, you test them, just like you test anything else in business. You test to see how the consumer needs that particular solution. And we just discovered that they needed it, and so I just became in love with this. Yeah. It's kind of like where I let myself express my feelings at. I try to keep feelings out of business, but in this particular case, my feeling was creating the business. Yeah. And I couldn't stop, so I just kept expanding. Like, how do I help these people? How to help these people that are trying to find what they need for their projects or their collectibles, and how do I solve that problem? So we just scaled it. We started in a garage. We started with one toy line. Now we've got 700.
What was the toy line you started with? G.I. Joe?
G.I. Joe, yeah. All right. And now it's expanded to comics, vintage books, vintage trading cards. Yep. So we've just now ventured out, and you just change your portfolio. So ship all around the world. I got friends all around the world. Yeah. It's a wonderful story that you can connect with people and grow something like this. And now that I've been doing it for 14 years roughly, I look back and I say, now how can I grow this again? what's the next level? And that's just where my head goes.
So,
yeah, it's been great. It's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah.
From a garage to a 3,000 square foot warehouse.
Yeah.
And, now
how many? You've got a team of people that work with you.
There's 4 of us. We work together. We consign for several people. We have a consignment process also.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we've got we work with a retailer so that we can do wholesale.
Okay.
And of course, there's not a whole lot of retail toy shops left because Target and Walmart just don't cut it.
Yeah. I went shopping for toys at Walmart 7 days ago, and it was a depressing process to go through.
It's not good.
Nobody cares about it. It's all just thrown and torn up. And I just remember walking through Toys R Us, and everything's like nice rows, and it was
been 9 years since they've been gone.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild to think. Yeah, it's the way of Circuit City. It's just
So that industry's been chopped up quite a bit. From the cards to the video games. Video games, you don't really need video games anymore. Everything's online now.
Right.
But there's still people who want to hold the physical item, and that's okay. But we try to cater to them also. But now we've gotten into apparel. WWE is hot. You got to stay on top of the trends.
That's
you got to
true.
stay on top of the trends.
Wrestling has made
really
a comeback.
It's been hot for probably 16 months maybe.
Yeah, and
it just keeps getting more in popularity.
So when that happens, are y'all going out and purchasing a bunch of lots of toys that have that stuff in it?
It's funny. I call it feeding the beast.
Yeah, that's
what we call. You got to feed the beast as the machine keeps going. But really, it's people who want to stay liquid. Like say they have a collection, but they're tired of looking at it. It's like, well, how do I liquidate this? How do I turn my collection into cash?
Yeah.
And so that I can take my money and either go pay bills or go buy other things and other collections and just kind of move on. We've created that environment where you can take your collection, you can bring it to us, we can appraise it, we can evaluate it, we can make a cash offer to whoever the owner of it is. And then at that point, they have the decision to say, that'll work or that won't work. And then they can either sell it to us or move on.
Yeah.
And, we pay cash for these things, and people often take advantage of that, and they take the cash, and we take the goods.
Yeah, that's cool. The people that I know that are in the retro toy or just any vintage stuff, they're fanatics about it. Mm-hmm. And so I can imagine how lucrative that business process can be, but at the same time, like how fulfilling it can be when somebody gets that thing that they've been searching for 6-7 months.
And you help, and you are directly responsible for helping them complete that project. Yeah. There's nothing better than helping someone do that. Because I'm a collector. Yeah. I collect. I'm a sneakerhead.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Full-blown sneakerhead. I like sneakers. I collect watches.
Okay.
A pretty expensive watch collection. Trading cards is huge. Mainly sports trading cards, and then of course, if you one of these days, I'll show you my lower level at my home because it's literally an action figure museum.
Really?
Absolutely, it's pretty intense.
We should have done this here.
Next time. 3,000 square feet of some of the most rare pieces in action figure history. It's really beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. A buddy of mine's buying a house this week actually, and the reason he's not on the show this week is because he's going to be moving and all his stuff's packed up. We wanted to do it at his house, but he's also a big retro collector, and he's got a ton. He's a big Ninja Turtles fan.
Oh yeah.
Huge property. Yeah. So I remember going with him to go get his comic stuff signed at Comic-Con last year, and I can't remember the guy's name. It's Kevin something for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got to meet him and get everything, Kevin Eastman. That's right. Yep. So got to meet him and get all his books signed and sent away. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So cool. That'll be fun. He's a big retro head with it. He's like anything 90s, 80s and 90s. He's a big fan of. So
so that I got head first into that. So I consider myself somewhat of an expert on high dollar, rare collectibles, mainly action figures and trading cards, and I love it. Just love it. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, so I know. So now I want to hear about the sneakers because I'd never heard about that. What did you get into?
COVID.
COVID.
COVID got me into sneakers.
Now was this a I just love them thing, or was it there's some money to be made here thing?
Didn't make it. No.
Okay.
It's mainly personal.
Personal.
Mainly personal collection.
Okay.
It's quite expensive too, but I've always been a sports guy.
Okay.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I played sports. I grew up in sports. I followed sports. And there was a time period from like 08 to COVID that I didn't even pay attention to trading cards. I didn't pay attention to sports cards. I didn't pay attention to sneakers.
Yeah.
But that world is really deep.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people who love that stuff. And if I'm going to evolve in the collectibles world, then I need to know a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
And I just gravitated to different colorways. I started with my favorite player at the time, and I bought all his shoes going all the way back to
who was it?
Dame Lillard.
Okay.
I'm a huge Trailblazer fan.
Okay.
Since I was 10.
Yeah.
And I went all the way back to his first edition, and I went back and started collecting them all.
Yeah.
And I just got hooked on it. And during COVID, we were really expanding and growing and trying to help the people. There was an inflow of collectors. I think it flooded the market at that time.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I went crazy, but I certainly got involved to where I tried to understand it more. And again, it's one of those places where I let my passion and my feelings get involved. And it's like, man, this is wonderful. What an amazing feel. It was great. Kobe shoes, Jordan shoes, Tatum shoes, even, today's current players, I'm a basketball guy. I'm an NBA guy, so I really follow it closely. And yeah,
I know you're not an NFL guy, so
yeah,
I know we've tried to talk about Bengals around you, and you're just like, I'm done here.
Yeah,
so.
I get up and leave. That's a sour subject.
Yeah. So is that from years of following them, hoping for the best and not getting it?
You got to know better. I think you just got to know better. And you feel like you get beaten over the head by a 2x4, and you can only take that so many times. Yeah,
I get that. The thing that kills me is like my son came for the summer this year, and he had Jordans.
Oh yeah.
And I've never in my 40 years of life ever owned a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
Let alone, I think the only player that I ever had their shoes, and it was just happenstance that they were like Payless or something, was Sean Kemp.
Oh yeah, Kemp.
Yeah.
His vintage shoes were Reeboks.
Yeah. So I had a pair of those miraculously in high school. There was like a 2-year stint where I loved basketball.
Yeah.
I grew up in Houston, so Olajuwon, Cassell, all of them. I got to meet them a lot of times. And Olajuwon lived right down the street from us.
That's cool.
And so it was. I used to ride my bike by his house. Big white walls everywhere. So.
I was not a Jordan guy.
Yeah,
I liked the Blazers.
I loved
the Blazers
them. Yeah.
in the '92 finals. I was not a Jordan guy. All my friends were.
Yeah.
All my friends were. In fact, I remember our freshman year of high school playing basketball. I was 8th grade. We had to make a decision on the entire team wearing the same shoe.
Oh.
And the conversation went to, let's all get Jordan 6s. So that's what was popular at the time. And there were a few of us that said, we're not wearing Jordans.
No.
And so we all had to compromise. We all ended up getting Pippins.
Really?
The whole team had the same set of Pippins. And it's interesting. I think about that now because during COVID, when I got into shoes, I actually went back and I bought some OG original shoes from my childhood that were dead stock. Which means they had never been worn.
That's awesome.
Oh, I got some really cool ones, and I'm never selling them.
Yeah.
My family will have to get rid of them, but I remember wearing those shoes in childhood, and I ended up finding them. Of course, it didn't matter to me what size they were; they just had to be dead stock, which means they were unused, unworn. Man, it's amazing that they survived.
Yeah.
But these are 1992 Nike Air Flights.
Oh wow.
Oh man. Oof.
Yeah,
just thinking about it.
That's cool. So we've gone through sneakers, we've gone through cycling, we've gone through your vintage toy collection. Is there anything else that Kris Cooper it's a part of his life that has to be something that we talk about here, something that lights you up?
Personal development.
Yeah. I would say of the reasons that I'm in your life and you're in my life is because of the intensity you bring and the accountability you bring. Every time I sit down and have a conversation with you, there's something about me that goes, well, I need to work on this. I need to work on this, and in a very good, healthy way. Never talking down to or pointing out people's flaws and their mistakes and the things that they're not doing correctly in their life. It can be done in a lot of different ways. And I think you bring a lot of intensity to that conversation, and you've also brought a lot of consistency into my life. Like I do a lot of things consistently now, not everything that I want to do, but I do a lot of things consistently here in my life because you're a part of it.
That's cool.
And I know that I'm going to have to sit down with you one day, right? Because we don't see each other very often anymore. It's maybe once every other month or so. But I know I'm going to sit down with you and you're going to be like, hey, how's this going? How's this going? And I have like, I got to answer to that. So I like to grow there. But what I'm leaning towards is your real estate career and business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do a lot of, the plan on this podcast is not to be doing a lot of business talk, but you're a person that does business with your passions. And so this is one of those situations where if you weren't passionate about real estate, I would have stepped away from real estate at this point. Mm-hmm. I think your passion drives into me a lot because I've learned a lot from other people in this business and over a 5-year period. And I think I've learned more from you in the 1.5 years that we've known each other than I've learned from anybody else. And a lot of that is on my own development and consistency in that space. So I want to hear about your real estate story, how you came into the business, and then how you developed from being one of the top realtors in the area into developing your own brokerage.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Those are good, kind words. Kind words. And no one should be hard on anyone. You should help people. You should impress upon people how much further they can go in life. And so you got to kind of do that with a high level of awareness on everything you say makes people feel a certain way. So you got to be very aware and very consciously aware of what you're saying to people and how you're addressing whatever their concerns might be, whatever business they might be in. My journey starts right around the time just before the market crash of 2008. I was licensed at the very rear end of 2006, 28-year-old nobody,
okay.
From a farm in Claremont County.
Quick question on that. What were you doing before real estate then?
Cleaning toilets.
Cleaning toilets. Okay.
Now, there's nothing wrong with cleaning toilets.
No.
But I looked at myself at 27 years old, and I'm like, do I want to do this the rest of my life? And the answer was no.
Yeah.
The answer was no. But I can appreciate anyone who's out there cleaning or in the industry of cleaning, because I did it for several years. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just that's not what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
Yeah, a lot of good people out there clean. So I got a couple of good friends that have cleaned.
I was very good at it. Yeah, sparkling.
Yeah,
very good at it. But of course, you take on every challenge put in front of you, and so that it was funny because during the process of becoming licensed in 2005 and into 2006, during that, the company who I was cleaning for discovered that I passed my license exam.
Oh, really?
And they didn't like it.
No.
They fired me on the spot.
Not fans of personal development.
No.
Yeah.
They fired me on the spot. I'll remember that forever. They said, "Look, this is the. We didn't hire you here to do this part time. We didn't hire you here to do something else." I remember them calling me into the office in person and letting me go, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is the universe telling me it's time to move forward.
Jump in with both feet.
Jumped in, both feet. 28-year-old, nothing. Had a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
I was raised on a tobacco farm.
Yeah.
I was raised around that industry. As a kid in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. That's what we did for income all the way through high school.
Okay.
So I was never really afraid of hard work. But I was from rural part of Claremont County out near the Brown County line, and that's where I grew up. And I applied that work ethic to the business.
Yeah.
And at the time, 2007 moving into 2008, there were so many people in the industry that had done well, during the 2004 prime, subprime mess, which I wasn't a part of. I was getting in because that stuff was trailing off.
I bought my first house then. Yeah.
I did I did too. I bought a condo. Yeah. I bought a condo in 2004 and was living there and owning it during most of my beginning of my career.
Yeah.
But I remember the summer of 2008 like it happened 5 minutes ago. I was in a big office at the time. We had 300 agents. And I remember that.
It's huge.
Everybody was driving nice cars, living in big houses, and I was just a young punk.
Yeah.
Walking into the office with a tie on. I specifically remember walking into the office with a tie on one day, and one of the older agents walked past me in the hallway, grabbed my tie, and went like that, scoffed at me for wearing a tie. And
Really?
at the time I didn't think anything of it, but they look at you and they're like, here's a young nobody who doesn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I quickly turned my social media from Facebook, and MySpace was popular at the time, into how to generate business.
Yeah.
So, 08 happens, the crash happens, agents start losing their income, agents start losing their houses, their cars. Our office in particular dropped in staff. I think it dropped some 75% by 2010.
Yeah.
That particular office sold to another office. There was a merger. It was a changing of companies. I remember it quite well. And I decided not to go along with that merger.
Okay.
So I found a new home, 2011-ish. And of course, now the market's rebounding. And all through that time, my business was growing. Like, I kept getting better. Expireds was the name of the game back then.
Yeah.
We had between 200 and 300 expireds almost every day.
Oh, wow.
Nobody could sell anything.
Right.
But that gave me a great deal of confidence that, there's a whole lot of business that I could go out and try to make and try to help these people.
Yeah.
They weren't, I think, out of any challenging times, the best people in business can overcome those challenges and create solutions. And they see that as an opportunity. So It was a wonderful time for me. I grew a team. I had my first admin in 2009. I remember that hire. And that's when I was introduced to some personal development material that just has lasted forever.
Yeah.
The book Think and Grow Rich and a couple other people introduced me to that program. Tim Burgess, I'll throw his name out there. Wonderful job at introducing me to that material. And I just grabbed a hold of it.
Okay.
Personal development was big. Started a team, hired an administrator, kept getting bigger. How can I help these people? How can I help agents grow? What can I do to help them fundamentally? And just grew. And then, I don't know, by 2015, it was like, okay, let me go out and really expand.
Yeah.
See how far we can take this thing. So we bought a franchise, a real estate franchise. And through that process of understanding the corporate feel of running a brokerage and what agents needed and what they really wanted to be successful, I just decided that at the time, some things had happened that drew me to saying, I'm just going to do this independently.
Yeah.
So my franchise was up for renewal, and rather than renew it, I decided to leave and go out on my own. Prior to leaving and go out on my own, I passed the test and became a broker.
Yeah.
And I took what I'd learned in that process into creating your own brokerage. And the brokerage is mainly independently, I say independent driven, but I kind of run it from an aspect of, the agent can really do good if you give them the right tools.
Right.
But the first tool they need to have starts here.
Right.
It's the psychological part of running this business. It's 80% of everything you do is in your head.
Yeah, it'll eat you up. Just like when I walked in here and I'm just down on it, right? So
and what was my reaction?
Yeah.
I just sat back and absorbed it.
Yeah.
You gotta have a place to be able to safely vent.
Exactly.
You have to be able to safely
yeah, because there's a lot of emotional stuff tied into residential real estate, unfortunately. And, and your client's emotions will eat away at yours eventually.
You have to be extremely level-headed.
Yeah.
And if you can't be level-headed, you've got to keep your emotions out of this business. Yeah. It's okay to express them other ways through your marketing, through your advertising, through your social media campaigns. It's fine to express it there.
Yeah.
You cannot express it when you're dealing with the consumer.
Right.
that is an absolute no-no, and I firmly believe that. You can introduce yourself to the consumer that way.
Yeah.
But once they come into your business and they decide to hire you,
it's a business decision.
They count on you to be the voice of reason.
Right.
100% of the time. I'm a firm believer of that. And if you can't control yourself, if you can't keep yourself controlled and under control, how do you ever expect to keep two people who are trying to move the most expensive asset in their lives?
Yeah.
How do you expect to keep them under control
Yep.
when there's controversy.
Yeah.
Such as a inspection gone bad,
right,
an appraisal gone bad, a low offer, or maybe they get multiple offers and they don't know which one's better.
Yeah.
And so their head's spinning and they just start looking at the numbers and there's other things they should really be taking in consideration and they're not.
100%.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It does to me, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've created a life for yourself. I would say I look at that and I go, wow, okay, one day, right? Like I can get up there. I think you're maybe 4 or 5 years older than me, you know?
I'm just a normal dude, man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a 20-year-old starting over every 6 months, you know? Like that's kind of how my world has just played out, unfortunately, because of some life events that have happened. But I do think that it's really nice to be able to look at a person and go, hey, well, like he's kind of doing what I want to do, and I can go that route and take on to it. And you being able to step into my life in that coach and mentor kind of capacity has been phenomenal.
Well, you said something that's pretty important, to start over.
Yeah.
I heard you say you have to start over.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's not true.
Yeah.
You may look at
it feels like it sometimes.
Of course it does.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And we look at
Yeah.
we don't know, everyone else says it that way.
Right.
So when the majority of people say you have to start over, you got to go with the majority. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, get out of that idea.
Yeah.
And understand that you might think you're starting over, but really you're starting from where you left off.
Yeah.
Which is so much more than you were when you started.
Yeah.
You know, you're starting from where you left off, and I've looked at that because I've had to do it several times.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to pause and I've had to regroup. I've had to pause.
Sometimes you just got to take a break.
Well, you take 12 steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then you feel like, oh God, I'm going backwards.
Yeah.
You might go back. But
Yeah.
you know what? You go back 6 steps. What are you? You're still 6 steps in the right direction. You got to have that mentality.
Yeah.
You must adopt that mentality, and I've just adopted it firmly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay. It's okay to have some bumps and bruises along the way. But what you can't do is you can't beat yourself up over it.
Right.
And a lot of people choose to do that because they hear it all the time.
Yeah, you can't. I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my life is that you can't change anything. And being upset, having regret over it, and beating yourself up about it doesn't change anything. You can only affect the future now. So sitting in your mind and torturing yourself over and over just doesn't do anything. And I could do it. I just choose not to. Right.
Good idea.
So
Good idea.
You know, I like I said earlier, there's times in life where I could take a look at the reality and everything would feel hopeless. So I just ignore the reality and focus on possibility and move on from there. And that's been a big. I mean, I've had multiple people in my life that are very similar in mindset to you. My buddy Matt Schumacher, who used to be one of my old managers at my office, he was great about it. He's like, we're only moving forward, Zach. We never go backwards, right? So, with all that being said, we've gotten through the majority of the things that I know about you. What's something that I don't know about you? What's something that in the year and a half that we've known each other, we've never talked about or touched base? I just found out you were married last time we sat down and talked because I just never asked.
You try to keep your personal stuff out of
separate
business.
from So,
did you know that I busted my teeth out?
No, I did not know
Did
that.
you hear about this story?
No.
Summer of 2019, I'm cycling.
Oof.
And I was going about 20 mile an hour on the street. I hit a manhole cover. Went right over the handlebars, face first into the pavement.
That sucks.
Knocked both my 2 front teeth out. I stood up, and of course I was concussed, but I had one ear pod still in. I think it was playing like Alice in Chains or something. I'm hearing Alice in Chains. And I distinctly remember someone running past me. They were jogging on the sidewalk. Okay. And they just kept running. And here I am laying in a heap. You know, and I'm looking around.
Is there blood?
Was there blood? Was there blood? I remember knowing immediately my tooth was gone. One of my front teeth was completely gone, root and all, busted right out of my head. Ooh. Very graphic, very gory, very startling.
It hurts my teeth, you talking about.
Dude, I got right back on the bike and rode home. There's a selfie of me in my Instagram feed. You can go check it out. 2019.
Yeah, I'll tag the Instagram feed on the
and went to the hospital. Drove myself to the hospital. Needed stitches in my lip because my tooth went through my lip, and I couldn't get my chin to stop bleeding. I didn't know why. Well, it's because it was gashed so bad it needed stitches. Cut all up. It was not pretty. But I'll tell you.
Were you back out the next day, right? Again?
It took me a few days.
Yeah.
It took me a few days because I was concussed, and they didn't want me doing anything for a week. And thank God I have my helmet on.
Yeah.
I still have the helmet. It sits on my shelf at home because it's beaten all up, and I replaced it. But it stays as a reminder to always wear a helmet.
Yeah.
But moreover, it's interesting how that happened because I always find the positive in it.
Yeah.
My teeth, my two front teeth, had a gap in them that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I was determined very soon to have that corrected. I was going to have some stuff taken out, some brace, and just have that corrected. And it turns out that the correction was to be made by having them removed in such a way. But I had to let the area heal. These are implants.
Yeah.
Had implants done. And now I have a beautiful smile.
Yeah, there you go.
But I took the positive from that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
We may have to get your dentist link on here too.
They did a great job. Moorhead Dentistry in Batavia.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah. They are great. I've used them before.
Yeah,
They're fantastic.
They were great to work with me. It took a year to heal the area and then take care of putting everything in and making it all nice and neat and clean. And I've had a beautiful smile ever since.
Yeah. That's
True
awesome.
story. That's something about you didn't know.
Yeah, I did not know that.
It's interesting to think about it because that happened on a Saturday, and on a Monday I had an appointment with an agent to interview them to come on board the brokerage, and I distinctly remember sitting in the appointment with her, and my mouth was I had this piece of gauze in my mouth because my tooth was missing. It was and I couldn't talk, and I went ahead with the presentation anyway. But I remember sitting there having to explain to this poor girl why I looked like I'd been in a fight over the weekend. She probably didn't believe me. I was like, okay, what bar were you in over the weekend?
Did you get the listing?
No, it wasn't a listing. It was an agent.
Oh, you were trying to get the agent.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't the point. I didn't. I wasn't afraid enough to say, look, hey, let's reschedule. I went ahead with the appointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some things you just hold on to, you just remember them, and that was 6 years ago now. I can't believe it was that long.
Dang. Okay, that's I've never dealt with. I've never had anything like physically damaging like that. I don't think so. At least I don't remember if I did. Maybe my body did a good job.
Fingers crossed that never happens again.
Yeah.
But if you do go cycling, wear a helmet.
Yeah. I
always wear a helmet.
I will say lately I've had trouble with manhole coverage. There's one outside of the crossroads in Eastgate.
Okay.
I was coming out of my B&I last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was waving to somebody and stepped in the thing and rolled over, and I had to take a break from walking and hiking for a week. I rolled my ankle pretty bad in there, but yeah, I will take a rolled ankle over a face in the concrete any day.
Yeah. Bounce back.
So there is one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I know you're in the same group as me. I'm wearing a hat for it right now. The caffeine and caffeine.
Oh yeah. Those guys are great.
I love that stuff. And you've got a phenomenal car that's the first time I've ever been in an AMG. It was a favorite car experience of mine. Is there a car that if you could have any car in the world that you would take?
Oh my gosh. Now you've really put me on the spot, because I don't know. There are a lot of really cool ones out there. There's really not. In my 20s, I fell in love with M3s. They were really popular at the time. So this is coming to E46 M3 was really cool. I wanted one of those for the longest time. But when I got into liking Mercedes, of course, the top of the line Speed is an AMG, and those are custom made cars. They're handmade. There's a lot of aura around that car, or having one with that tag on. But there's really not. A Viper. As a kid, everybody wanted a Viper.
Mm-hmm. I remember that in the Plymouth Prowler.
Oh, I remember those. I remember that.
I had a little scale model of it.
I'd probably have to say a Porsche, like a 911, like what they were driving in Bad Boys.
Yeah. Okay.
You remember Bad Boys?
Yes, I do.
And they're flying through, and at the very end, he's like, "You got to get through, watch my car." I love that car.
Yeah. So mine's the Transporter. I think it was a 740 that Jason Statham was driving in the original Transporter.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. It was like one of my favorite cars of all time.
Very cool.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good plug-in. Those guys are cool.
Yeah,
That's
Maddie. So Caffeine and Fuel operates out of Element Eatery. A good friend of mine works over there. I spend a lot of time over there, and I got to meet Matador Maddie over there. And I'm there. I try to be there almost every Saturday, but a lot of times I come on the back end because I got a kid with me. Yeah, it's a very cool event. If y'all haven't been to Caffeine and Fuel at Element Eatery, there's a lot of great car shows in Cincinnati. Car clubs abound here, and I didn't realize that when I first moved here. When I first moved here, I was like, man, I'm coming from a big city like Houston. You're just like, there's not a whole lot going on here. There can't be. And I mean, in the 11 years I've been here, this city has grown in such an amazing way. It's been really phenomenal to see that, and having clubs like this that really make events happen in the area.
Of course, our club was Eastgate Cruisers.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
I'm showing my age now, but I cruised Eastgate every weekend from like 99 to 2001.
Yeah.
We never missed it.
Oh, really?
Never missed it.
Yeah. The only time my friends and me cruised was in the backwoods.
Oh, and that says something.
Yeah. We didn't have any kind of cars to show off. My buddy's Luminium Falcon is what he called it, the old Chevy Lumina. So let's do a draw. Let's do a card draw and see where we go with that real quick. And I'm testing all this stuff out for it. So I'm gonna split the deck and then pull a card, and then I'll give you a question.
Okay.
7 of spades. All right. With cars lasting longer and staying on the road over 12 years, do you think we're better off keeping old things or chasing new upgrades?
And are exclusively with cars?
I think it's an open question.
If it's exclusively with cars, if you've got something that is historic, keep it.
Yeah.
But with the tech and the safety updates and upgrades that are happening in cars, you gotta kind of stay up with those. But if it's something that's vintage or can be vintage and is a collectible and can be a collectible after 25 years, then I would keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of old. So I prefer things that are less connected.
Okay.
And I would probably put myself in the off-gridder conspiracy theorist kind of place, which is very counterproductive for my businesses because I have to be on the grid. I have to be present. I have to show my face. I have to do content.
Yeah. You get to do content.
I get to do content. Yeah, that's true. It is a lot of fun. I enjoy doing all the stuff. I never thought, if you asked me 20 years ago if I was going to be in front of a camera talking about stuff and talking to people, I would have never in a million years have like, God, no, I might be programming the camera or setting the lighting for it.
Yeah.
But is there something about teenage Kris that would be shocked about adult Kris?
Oh God, yeah. Yes. It's got to be mental strength.
Okay.
I was in my younger year, I was extremely influential. So I looked at others for inspiration constantly rather than looking at my own results and then saying, hey, look, how far can you go yourself?
Yeah.
I was constantly doing that. And so I didn't have a lot of mental strength until I got into, thinking we're rich and other material like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's a difficult conversation because I live at home with a 17-year-old. I've raised her the way that I think helps her to be very independent. I also made sure that when she made a decision on her own, and that she made many decisions on her own, that she understood that no matter what happened from that, it was her decision.
Yeah. And
the results are something she gets to own. So that when she goes off in the world, it's quite all right to make decisions. You got to be empowered to do that. I could not do that.
Yeah.
It was not easy for me to transition from high school past college and beyond. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Try to make it easier for her anyway.
Yeah.
Because being a girl today is tough.
Being
a young
anybody
woman
today is tough. Yeah.
I do agree with that. However, I think that there's a culture shock, or can be much more of a culture shock for that group of people.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, all right, I'm gonna do a pull, and we'll go from that. 3 of diamonds. Let's see here. Washington had secret wine cellars. If you could design a hidden room in your house, what would it be for?
Oh gosh, Toys.
Toy. I don't think that's the secret part of your house.
Yeah, I know.
It sounds like it's the majority of your house.
It would be. It would be. I would make it very cool.
Yeah.
I'd make it very cool. You have to go through a couple different passageways to get to it, and at the end, it would be quite the experience. I think the journey.
Yeah.
Getting there is what's cool. So the corridors, the hallways, the passages, they can get narrow. But then, where are you going? What's the end of the journey look like?
Yeah.
Well, it's here. It's the toy room. Come on.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I think my whole life, all I've wanted is like a secret room with like a speakeasy in it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've always wanted to do that. But now as I grow older and my kids are growing up, I'm like, it would be really cool to give them a space. Because like, the living room is my secret room.
Oh, okay.
So to give them a space where they could go. I've seen a lot of homes lately that have like they'll have like the 10 or 12 foot basements.
Yeah.
And they'll have like gyms in there, like rock climbing and stuff for their little kids and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I always thought that was really cool. And I think if I had the opportunity to build something like that, I would build something like that. Or for my teenager, like a virtual reality room. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, virtual reality room. That's a good one.
That'd be a cool one, I think. Yeah,
definitely.
There's a lot of them. We see the models, especially during like Homerama, where they have the golf stuff in the yeah.
Yeah, you could do that with a cycling with a cycle too.
Yeah.
Gosh, nothing beats the real thing.
Yeah, I do that with. So if it is really nasty out, I've got a treadmill in my living room. I'll turn my TV on to like hiking.
Oh yeah.
And like just hiking videos, and I'll sit there and I'll walk through with it. So, yeah. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll wrap it up because we're getting towards the end of our time here.
4 of spades.
4 of spades. If you could stay in any kind of dream home, would you pick a fancy mansion or something quirky like a treehouse? Mansion.
Yeah, I'm, and God, there's actually a reason for this. I think what you surround yourself with, what you go for in life, it's okay to be a little quirky, like the treehouse. But for me, I think a treehouse is more reasonable.
Yeah.
And a mansion's a little unreasonable. So I would want something that I couldn't quite reach. I think getting into the vibration of being in that place would help me further in life. I talk about myself. It helped me further to go in life if I was working towards staying in a mansion. Yeah.
Environment's got a lot of an impact on people.
Absolutely does.
I don't think people realize how much of an impact it has, and who you surround yourself with has probably the largest impact on your life than anything else. I see people, hear this conversation all the time, people concerned about where their kids are going to school. And I was like, don't worry about who your kids are going to school with. Worry about who your kids are friends with. Because where they go to school is not going to matter if they've got the right friends. So, yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Cool.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thank you for being my first official interview.
Great. Glad to be here.
Is there anything, if you've got handles, Instagram tags, go ahead and say it now. I'll also tag it on the videos as well.
Yeah, just search my name. Kris.
Kris with a K. Yeah.
Kris. So, it's all out there. YoJoOutlet.com.
Oh, YoJoOutlet.com.
HomologyHomes.com.
Yeah. Sponsored by Homology.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for
Zach.
coming on. Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
It,
yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Oh, it's fun. Please be.